Well, yeah, impact is hard to measure, but you see it when it happens. I mean, I'm sort of surprised when I occasionally learn one that I didn't know they did. David Gallus, who's a Hertz Fellow, who's chairman of our board, had done genetics work that found the gene that partly regulates calcium metabolism in the body. And as a result of that, there is now a drug in final FDA approval that may simply eliminate osteoporosis as a health problem. You want to have impact? There's a great example of impact. Impact on a totally different scale is the stuff done by Aries Lieberman-Eiden, who is, you look at him and you sort of think his thesis work looked like biology. It was done with DNA. But Aries and a friend have gone into the 5 million books that Google has digitized and done computerized searches for when words and phrases appear. And so they're learning, sort of to the horror of professional linguistics, some interesting lessons about the evolution of language and if you take it to its extreme, the evolution of thought. Now that's pretty exciting. And in fact, Aries and I have laughed about where do you publish this stuff, because he says I have the potential to truly outrage a whole profession. And I said, well, that's impact. That's good. Outrage is good if you do it, because they're going to have to. They will have to confront you even if you're wrong, and that's got to be good for them. One of the tragedies of my life was a good friend of mine who was a high school acquaintance who went through a large university I won't name and got a tenured position at another large university I won't name. And he retired after 30 years, and I asked him why he retired, and he said, well, he was tired of filling the same sausages for the National Institutes of Health. And I thought, that's a sad career summary. He did the same thing for 30 years. Very competent, very rewarded, very respected, but that didn't sound like a very happy end. I don't much worry about that with the Hertz Fellows. Another superb example of impact is Philip Eckhoff, whose PhD was in mathematics. Philip is at the Gates Foundation leading a group of about 20 now, more than half of whom are Hertz Fellows, by the way, either they're part-time or permanently, who are doing the modeling and propagation of disease. And this started with malaria, because understanding how malaria moves around is very important. It has expanded to include modeling that basically drives the program to eradicate polio, and is moving sideways into HIV and AIDS as a way to understand where to apply the medicine you can afford to apply. You can't do everything for everyone every day. And it's interesting when he talks about it, it's a public health activity. Given my past in national security and counterterrorism, I see the lessons he learns are also applicable to the problem of what happens if we really have a bioterrorism event someday, where you have to make decisions with really bad data. And you're going to have the computer help you make the decisions with bad data, because you can't get the data and you don't have the time to wait for it. So there's a whole sideways step from the applications Philip has in mind that I'm going to push him to when he has a chance to catch his breath.